I've been eyeing this BioLite FirePit for the past few years. I was intrigued by its unique features, and it seemed to have everything I could want in a smokeless, portable, cooking-capable backyard fire pit. My hope was it could become my main camping and backyard fire pit for years to come. So I was excited when BioLite sent me this one to test out and review. Since its arrival, I've been able to take it on 2 separate camping trips, and I used it in my backyard once as well. First, I took it out into the beautiful San Andreas mountain range in Colorado, and I was really excited to enjoy the view and the warmth that this new fire pit could offer in such a wonderful place, only to learn just before heading out there that there was a complete fire ban. Now, I support firefighters 100%. I think fire bans, they're an important tool, but I was still disappointed. But it all turned out fine. I just took it out on the following weekend to another mountain location, one without a fire ban. So let's go over some of the key features, some of the pros and cons, and then I'll wrap up and give you my final recommendation on whether you should also get this BioLite FirePit. Okay, first off, the BioLite FirePit is what I call a jack-of-all-trades fire pit solution. What do I mean by that? BioLite FirePit can do lots of things well, but it's made to be portable. So it's not really made to create a massive bonfire at a huge party. And while it's extremely lightweight, it's still too large and heavy for backpacking. And while it can cook, if you have the right accessories, and we'll go over that in a minute, not a top-of-the-line Traeger grill. So it's not trying to be all those things either. Instead, it's attempting to provide a perfect balance between each of these extremes. The hope is that you'll gladly take this fire pit camping and use it in your backyard for small gatherings. And due to the unique side fan, this orange thing here, you get a lot less smoke. And that's one of the most interesting features of this BioLite fire pit. So let's go over these features in more detail. Specifically, I'll talk about the fire pit itself. I'll talk about the cooking accessories and how it performs cooking. And then I'll give you my final assessment. Okay, first off, I got to get this out of the way. I know there's no such thing as a smokeless fire. I'm an engineer. I took thermodynamics 1 and 2. I took physics. I took heat transfer courses in college. So while there is no fire that's completely smokeless, a fire that's starving for oxygen will create a lot more smoke than ones that are being continuously pumped full of fresh oxygen. Low oxygen fires smolder, and they struggle to build up enough flame and enough heat, and this inefficiency is part of what creates all that thick, white cloud of smoke that seems to target you and only you, wherever you happen to be sitting, just following you around, making your life miserable. And with a smoky fire, there's 2 types of people. You either have what I call the lazy stoic. And this is the person that just refuses to move no matter what. They'll just sit there in that smoke with their eyes pinched shut, huddled in, claiming that moving's futile because, hey, the wind will shift eventually anyway, right? This human's pretending to have a good time, but really they're just suffering in silence. And then you have the other person. You have the hyperactive shuffler. And this person, they'll change locations at any hint of a wisp of smoke heading their general direction. So they never really relax around a campfire, and they pretend that they're having a good time until they finally give up and just head back to their tent. Bottom line is, thick, nasty smoke can ruin what should be a relaxing and an enjoyable time around a fire. And that problem is where BioLite comes in. They reduce the smoke. That's BioLite's superpower. You see, this fire pit comes with this large battery pack that has a fan in it that clips to the side of this unit. And this fan, it pushes air down 3 separate chambers that are inside here. And these chambers have perforated pipes that push air into your burning pile of firewood. And here's what's really cool. You control the speed of this magic fan with your phone. First, you can choose off if you're a sick masochist who enjoys smoky fires, or you can select low, medium, or high, or max. And these settings allow you to pump oxygen into the fire pit at several different rates. And this oxygen control, this is how you force the fire to burn more efficiently, which significantly reduces the smoke. Honestly, it's a genius solution to an ancient problem. This feature also helps you get your fire started. That way you can stop putting your face 2 inches from the cold logs, blowing relentlessly, trying to get that puny flame to finally make the leap to your kindling. We've all been there. We've all done it, or we've seen somebody doing it. If you've been there, you know how much that sucks. And if you've seen it, well, you feel sad for that person, right? They're just a frustrated soul. Now, the BioLite cannot overcome physics entirely. And what I mean by this is, no, you can't put a full unsplit log into the BioLite, hold a Bic lighter to it, and get it to start. Sorry, but you're still going to need to use dry tinder or some fire starting material, and you'll also need to split your firewood into thin, dry kindling pieces. Then once those are lit and hot, you can start adding larger kindling chunks until finally, once you have a nice roaring fire, you can add full logs to your fire, okay? But the BioLite is not meant to be stuffed completely full of wood either, okay? There's a limit to how much wood you want to put in. Because again, it's high efficiency burn, so it's going to put off a decent amount of heat even though there's not a lot of firewood in it. But if you put too much wood in, it's going to create a huge flame. I had it shooting out the top and I didn't even fill the thing full. This is great, again, because your fires want to be hot, right? And you want them with less smoke, correct? Yes. But if you put too much wood in, you're going to get too big of a flame. And that's safety, folks. That's an issue. Let's not burn your place down being stupid, okay? So start small, add more firewood over time, but keep it at a reasonable level and keep things under control at all times. Another feature worth mentioning on this BioLite is this is also a battery pack, okay? So in order to run this fan, you need this to have power. Well, what's cool is they have this USB device over here where you could charge your phone if your phone or a small electronic device happen to be low while you're out on the camping trip. You can charge it up. You can use some of the juice, some of the energy from this to charge those devices. Now, of course, if you do that, you're going to have less power for the fan, okay? So you don't want to charge your devices and then not have this be able to use the fan, right, feature. That would be, in my opinion, that'd be a mistake, okay? But if you're only using this for 1 or 2 nights and you're going to keep it on low or medium, okay, this battery will last a long, long time. I think up to like 30 hours on low or something like that. Look at the specs if you want to look into that. But the bottom line is this has quite a bit of juice on reasonable settings. If you go max, you're only going to get 4 or 6 hours. But you'll probably have some leftover juice so you can charge up some of your phones and devices. Just make sure you charge this up before you go on your trips. Another feature that I really like is this side here. This is a mesh side, okay? You can see through this side and see into the fire, below the fire, the sides of the fire, not just the top. Not only is this a nice feature that gives off a unique, interesting perspective, but it'll also keep your toes warm on a cold night without having to hold them up over the flame like you do with a traditional fire pit. I've done that, and I accidentally melted the rubber off my soles of my shoes. Don't do that. One final fire pit feature that I want to highlight is its low weight and the fold down legs. I really like how lightweight this unit is, but even though it's light, it's still solid. It's a durable build. And that's the trick, right? You want to be able to carry this thing around from site to site and put it in your trunk or put it in your RV and then take it out and do all that stuff without having to visit a chiropractor after. But also not seeing it crumple like a paper cup if you drop it. Bottom line is, for how lightweight this thing is, it still seems to me to be very durable. Now, who knows? Perhaps this thing won't stand up to a massive abuse over several years, but I think if you treat it with care, it'll last a very long time. These fold-down legs are what allowed me to put this entire unit into the storage compartment of my pop-up camper. This makes me very happy because if it didn't, I probably wouldn't take it. But due to its reasonable size, dimensions, folding legs, I stow it in there just fine. Okay, let's move to cooking on this unit. Okay, you can cook over most campground fire pits without the BioLite. You just need the right tools, right? Some sites have those flip grates, which are pretty nasty actually. Clean them really well before you use them. Otherwise, you'll need to bring your own grill grate. You also want a big skillet, and maybe even you have a Dutch oven. And while these tools are okay, they're hard to use over an open flame and hard to use with a regular fire pit. And these tools are all heavy and they take up a lot of space to haul. Instead, the BioLite FirePit is designed to convert into a cooking machine. See this grate right here? Grate goes on top so you can grill. You can also bake. You get this cover set over the top like that, and you can actually create an oven type situation and trap in some of that heat and do some baking. And it also comes with a skillet, which is perfect for cooking pancakes, eggs, and bacon. Plus, it's designed to cook over firewood if you'd like, or charcoal with its wire insert. You can just leave it on the bottom for firewood or hang it from the tabs for charcoal. Honestly, store-bought charcoal, it makes it much easier to control the heat, okay? And it tends to last longer. But you can also control the heat amount with your fan, remember? Okay, so you can turn the fan up or turn it down. If you turn it up, you're going to burn through your charcoal faster, but you're going to create more heat. And if you turn it down, it's the opposite. Okay, but it gives you another level of control that you just don't have with a regular fire pit. And if you need to add more fuel to your fire pit, either charcoal or firewood, this grate slides back. You add the fuel in, slides back over the top. Very easy. And I had to do this because I was cooking for a pretty decent number of people. So I had to do this twice. Once when I cooked the pork chops for dinner and once when I was doing pancakes and eggs for breakfast. How did cooking with this BioLite FirePit go? Well, it went pretty well actually, especially for my first attempt. Of course, there's always a learning curve when you're cooking on a new device. And there were a few minor issues, but I think they were more operator error than the device itself. For example, I probably would have opted to use charcoal to cook the pork chops instead of using firewood. Firewood creates flames and then they kind of smolder down. And if you add more firewood, you get more flames. So it kind of burns unevenly at times and that got tricky. But still, even with those issues, with some finagling and some patience, pork chops turned out great. Okay, hold on for one moment. I just have to pause this review for 1 second. In the middle of my review in cooking the pork chops at the cabin, a freaking moose strolled up and he started enjoying a bit of time at the old salt lick. I mean, come on. How cool is that? My kids and my family, we took a lot of pictures. It was pretty awesome. Okay, with the morning pancakes, I wish I would have started out with more charcoal. Instead, I had to add a bit of kindling towards the end to finish it up. But again, that's more operator error. Now, the thing that matters most here is I felt the BioLite had both the proper design and the right tools to cook an excellent campground meal. And I'm betting I'm going to get much better at it the more I use it, just like anything. Now, with all that said, is cooking on a BioLite fire pit easier than using a propane camping stove like a Coleman suitcase? Of course not. It's hard to beat the ease and control of a simple propane stovetop, right? But perhaps you enjoy the process of cooking over a real fire and the feeling of satisfaction that provides. I know I do. Or maybe you prefer to just take one device that you can cook breakfast, dinner, dessert, yay s'mores, and keep warm under the stars well into the cool evening. I mean, the more one piece of camping gear can do, the better, right? So for the right person, I could see the BioLite FirePit becoming something that they cook on regularly when they go camping. That's why I plan to cook at my campground trips, my brats, my burgers, my pork chops, my pancakes, my eggs, and my bacon for years to come. All right, here's my final assessment. I really like the combination of features that this BioLite has to offer. It has the right balance of features to meet any of my fire pit and campground cooking needs. Is it a perfect solution for everyone? No. Some people love smoke in their faces. Some people like crunchy eggs and burnt pancakes. Some people like to lug around lots of heavy gear. If you're one of those people, then the BioLite's not for you. For everyone else, it's a solid portable campfire solution for your backyard and your campsites. If you enjoyed this review, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, like it, all those good things, okay? And until next time, prepare, adapt, and overcome.